Yes, everyone, welcome to the next video. So this one is where we're really starting to, understand um, the economy and moving on from that last video where we explained in brief terms how it works. First thing we're going to be looking at is GDP. So this is all to do with the productivity of a country. So what is GDP? Gross domestic product is a monetary measure of the market value of all the goods and services produced in a specific time period. So in terms of time period, you've got year on year, which is YOY, and then of course you've got quarter on quarter, which is QOQ. Um, Obviously, you've got different types of GDP readings, but these are the main ones that we look at. Um, Now, what we actually look at is the GDP growth rate, as it gives us more of an insight into how well a country is performing in terms of growth. Because it's all well and good and seeing, oh, yes, there's been this amount of GDP for this year. But what does that mean relative to what we've seen before? And what does that mean relative to other countries as well? In basic fundamental terms, we can compare the GDP growth rate between certain countries to get a general bias on which economy is performing better. However, this is just one factor that we look at, but it is part of the essential checklist. So, of course, there's more to productivity in a country. It's not just the GDP, it's understanding the imports and the exports as well. But a lot of the GDP is, it's one of the biggest parts of the productivity of a country. So, how do we actually understand GDP and get the data for it? So, the main website that we use is Trade and Economics. Definitely put this on your favorite list because it's something that we'll be looking at more and more as we get through the course. So you can search up on the indicator tab. If you search up right at the top over here, you can look at the GDP of each country. So it puts, for example, we've looked at the United States as an economic indicator. You got GDP, labor, health, everything else. And then what we look at right here is the GDP growth rate. And then what you can do is also use this in comparison and in contrast to other economies as well. And that's also what Trading Economics provides. So this is from the homepage. If you scroll right to the bottom, but essentially puts all the countries listed. So we've got United States, China, the Euro area, Japan, Germany, all the essential countries that we'll be looking at. And this data provides us with a comparative view of the key countries, where we can start to formulate our views on the fundamentals using GDP. So this lesson is quite simple. It's just understanding that GDP is one of the most important factors. Of course, we're going to be looking at this in more depth and looking at the components that actually show that can help us predict what GDP is going to be like through CPI data and everything else. But yeah, quite a simple lesson. So if you guys definitely want as well, check up online on Trading Economics. You can always see this type of data that we've got right here. But yeah, guys, anyways, take care and we'll see you in the next video.